Looking to buy a detached home for under $290,000? A new study from Business Insider just came out showing the 8 best cities where you can buy a detached home for under $290,000. Let's get into it. So welcome to another Fruitful report where I talk about anything business, economics, real estate, finance related, totally uncut, totally freestyle, straight fucking facts. You already know. Let's get into it. Now, spoiler alert for my Canadian viewers, which I'm in Canada. This channel is mainly about Canadian politics and real estate investing. But spoiler, these 8 cities, surprise, surprise, are not in Canada. Why would they be? Canada real estate is way too high, way too pricey, but stay tuned, please, because you're going to see why people like me and so many other investors are now investing in U.S. real estate, and you can as well. It's not complicated. In fact, by the way, plug, I got a course below showing you as a Canadian exactly how to invest in the U.S. totally free. It's not a paid course, totally free. Check it out. It's way easier than you think. In fact, as I always say, it's easier as a Canadian citizen to buy a property in the U.S. and get financing and get a mortgage than it is for a Canadian citizen to buy a house in Canada and get a mortgage. Yes, I'll say that again. It's easier to buy real estate in the US and get financing. Absolutely amazing. America's open for business. Capitalism wins again. So let's bust out these 8 cities. Number 1, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The average detached home with a garage. I'm not talking about apartments, condos on the beach, detached homes, okay? Average home is $287,500. South Carolina's nice. We've been there. Tallahassee, Florida. My favorite place to invest. Tallahassee, not my favorite place to be, North Florida, but hey, still Florida, baby. $261,750. Honesboro, Arkansas. I hope I said that right. Jonesboro or Honesboro? Nobody cares. It's Arkansas.
Jonesboro.
$250,000. Joplin, Missouri, number 4 at $180,000. That's the price of stuff we're buying in Texas. Amazing. Number 5, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I hope I said that right again. $257,500. Number 6, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. We don't care about Wisconsin. Too cold, bro. $205,000 for a detached home. Number 7, Odessa, Texas. We like Odessa. $273,955. And last but not least, number 8, the 8th city is Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. $250,000 to buy a home. Do we want to live in Oklahoma though? Nobody lives in Oklahoma. We don't really want that. So, why is real estate so much cheaper in the US? Let's start with that. Number 1, the population size is ginormous, 10 times the size of Canada, which is why we invest solely now in the US. Okay, so I bought 150 properties. Of those 150 properties, 50 properties I had as rental properties, all in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. Great city. That's where I live. I like to live here. Don't like to invest here. Prices are too high. Inflation is crazy. The rents aren't keeping up. You can't cash flow. Investing in real estate in Canada is dead. It used to be good, but it's not working anymore. Why? Taxes are too high. Prices are too high. No cash flow. Regulations. Landlord-tenant board is so upside down. The tenants have all the rights. The owners have no rights. What? That's backwards thinking, guys. That's what Canada's got to fix. So we got larger population in the States, so we have more supply, more homes, more cities, bigger cities, more population. We're not so dense. Like, do you guys realize? I think it's like something crazy. Like 80% of the population in Canada lives below Montreal to Windsor. It was an article I read recently. Maybe it's not as high as 60 to 80%. I think it was half. 50% of the Canadian population lives from the Montreal line and down, and the rest of the population lives just along the border when it comes to Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC. So basically, we're all pushed at the border, okay? The U.S. is sprawled all across their giant land, so there's just more to go around. So yeah, more inventory. Number 2, lower regulation to invest and to build homes there. Building a home, like I always say in Canada, who wants to do it? To build one single family home, the permit cost and the DC charges, the development charges, is $15,000 to $20,000 just to build one detached home. And to get that permit, to get that approval, to go through all the red tape and the regulation can take 8 to 12 months. That's average for most municipalities. So it takes way too long and it costs way too much to build a home. Now, in Florida, where we're investing, Southwest Florida, how much do you think it costs to build a home, to get that permit? The same permit. As little as $500, and it gets approved in 2 to 4 weeks, okay? Not 8 to 12 months. So you have incentives to invest in the US, incentives to build. America's basically saying, guys, we're open. Come build. Come bring the properties here. Build. More housing, more supply. So their supply and demand balances are more in check in the US. In Canada, we're looking like this, okay? Demand is way up here. Supply is down. We just don't have the supply, which is where we get the bidding wars.
I need the house. I've been waiting 2 years. Fuck it. I'll buy the house. I'll pay 900 grand for this apartment. I don't care. I just want a house.
That's what's going on in Canada in my little skit to replicate what's going on. In America, do this for me. Go to realtor.com, not .ca. Go to realtor.com right now and look up any big city, okay? Cape Coral, Florida, Miami, Tampa, Florida, anywhere in California, Los Angeles, whatever, New York State, try New York, Queens, Brooklyn, whatever. Look it up for yourself right now. Look how many listings there are. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. There's listings everywhere. Don't like this one? No problem. Go to this one. Don't like this one? No problem. There's tons. Now, we're starting to see that a little bit in Canada because there's more listings coming on, but it's not even close, dude. Like the media in Canada is like, oh, so many listings. We're still in a seller's market by definition in a lot of cities, okay? Don't fool yourself. And when these rates start coming down, whew, it's going to be crazy again. Seller's market all over again. You wait. You say I'm crazy. I follow data. You follow fucking CNN. No, rates are going to be longer, higher for longer. Houses are going to crash. All right, let's see how that works out. I'll be back in 6 months. We can see who was right on that. So that's why we're not seeing the craziness in the US of prices going insane. It's more balanced. And the main reason why we have that is because in the US, they have true 30-year mortgages. So when you get a mortgage, it doesn't come for renewal every 5 years. Even in Canada, yeah, we get a 25, 30-year mortgage as well, but it comes up for renewal every 5 years. That's like a sick trick that the Bank of Canada and all the banks have put on us. That's not good. Okay, in the US, they have a true 30-year. The day you get the mortgage, like the houses we're buying in Florida and Texas, when we buy it, there's no renewal. That's the interest rate. That's the payment for the next 30 years. Nobody touches it. Recession, wars, pandemics, doesn't matter. That interest rate, my payment will never move for 30 years. So that's why you have a lot of sellers being like, I ain't selling. Like right now with interest rates being so high, if somebody locked in at 2%, 3%, 4%, they're like, I ain't moving. And they are saying, I ain't moving. I ain't moving. Where am I going? I'll just stay where I am. Whereas in Canada, we're also saying, I ain't moving. My interest rate is 3%. But I come up for renewal in 6 months. What's going to happen? Oh my God. People are going to be forced selling. They're going to have to sell. They're going to have to lock in at a higher rate, potentially go bankrupt. Okay, the US doesn't have that, which is so crazy because I always thought that the American housing market was more risky. Okay, looking back to 2008, which was a direct mortgage fraud problem. So that was its own unprecedented incident that's not going to happen again, really, because they totally overhauled their banks. Which is why we didn't have that problem in Canada because our banking system was not built like theirs is. And America's like, okay, let's do more what Canada's doing. So, so the likelihood of that happening again, pretty low. But it did happen. So in that time, everybody was forced selling. They had to sell. They couldn't pay their payments. They went bankrupt. They had to sell. That's kind of what's happening in Canada on a smaller scale. But it is happening. But it's not happening in the US this time. Sellers truly have the power and are saying, I ain't selling. I ain't moving. So that's now. After what I know, after buying 150 properties and investing in real estate, having businesses here, with my business savvy knowledge I have now, we're no longer investing in Canada. This is why we're investing in the States. My favorite place is being Southwest Florida, where we're buying properties, by the way, for $350 to $400 grand USD with a pool in the backyard. Every house we buy in Florida must have a pool for that vacation rental, and we're 15 minutes from an ocean. Let me get this straight. A 3 to 4 bed, 2-bath, detached home with a garage and a pool in the backyard, 15 minutes from an ocean, warm, sunny, beautiful, 400 grand, which is like 480 Canadian, 500 Canadian, okay? Where can I buy a house like that anywhere in Ontario for 500 grand? You're never going to find it. It's impossible. That's why the valuations are better. Now, we're also buying in Texas, just outside of Houston, Texas, for our long-term rentals. And the house we're buying there, the same exact house, no pool though, but same house, 180 to 200 grand. What? That's like 230 grand Canadian, more like 260. 260 Canadian. Find me a house, a 3-bed, 2-bath, detached house with a garage, just outside of a major city like Houston, which will be comparable to Toronto or even Hamilton. Can you find me a house for 260? Detached house with a garage? No, never gonna happen. Fundamentals are out of whack in Canada. The prices in America speak for themselves from this Redfin article. Guys, invest in the US. Subscribe, follow. Let me teach you how to do it. It's easier than you think as a Canadian. In fact, I got a free course right below here teaching you as a Canadian how to buy real estate in the US. Like I said, it's way easier than you think. It's actually too easy. You should take advantage of it before it changes, actually. I'll see you in the next Fruitful Report.